Lions just recovered a fumble.
Bits of wisdom.
It's Harry Houdini, I'm pretty sure.
That's when it kind of becomes Home Improvement After Dark.
I guess that leaves us at the question of the week.
Very good. I don't know if you noticed, Jordan, but a really cool aerial shot of the table. Reasonably funny.
User review.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right, a company that would certainly beat Binford Tools in one-on-one is proud to present a Home Improvement podcast. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, we're in kind of a war zone here.
It's noisy
place.
over there.
I sent you a picture.
What's the ruckus?
I sent you a picture about 5 minutes prior to our, 8:30 a.m. record time. We always record these early. There's a truck that pulled up outside my apartment window about 4 feet from where my studio is, and there's a man standing in the back of the truck, and he's just taking a sledgehammer to big chunks of cement, just beating them down. I don't know what his plan is necessarily. I don't know why it has to be done here. I don't know why it's happening at 8:30 in the morning. But
I think we both know. Well, at least you said to me, you have no reason to believe that this is something that your apartment hired.
No, I don't
a
think
contractor to do.
Yeah, I think
this is just a random person.
Yeah, they're just some guys. No, I think these are. I think these people were sent from by way of the More Power podcast. I think they're trying. I think they're trying to
trying to strong arm you.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get us down. So yeah, it's very noisy around here. I think there's multiple projects going on. I do feel a little bit frustrated, and I'm sorry for the sound quality or the background noises that you may or may not be hearing, but this is the harsh reality of the day. So, apartment living,
really,
just apartment living, I suppose.
You never know if you're going to get cat noises or bird noises or just concrete construction noises.
Also, in my defense, when you have noises, you kind of edit them out, like long conversations about toothpicks and whatnot. You're able to kind of edit your own issues out, but mine are always just a little bit shorter, so that they're here in the background. Yeah, I see just trailers going by and trucks, and they're working. There's a goal, but it's a mystery to me. But we're not here to talk about construction or cement or concrete or even jackhammers. I don't think. Although
it depends on what's in the episode.
Week by week we do sometimes bring up jackhammers. But Jordan, I stumbled upon an article that you've now seen as well, and it's related to our beloved star Tim Allen. And the title, the article's from Deadline.com, and this is not breaking news because it's about a month old. No, it's not. It's about a week old. Good for us. It's called. I thought it was older. It's called Hidden Figures filmmaker Ted Melfi lines up strong ensemble cast for El Camino Christmas at Netflix. Written by Anita Bush, April 25th, 2017. Basically what is happening is this Ted Melfi, Theodore Melfi, he recently directed Hidden Figures, which was a big hit. Did you see that one, Jordan?
I haven't yet. I've wanted to see it, though.
What's preventing you?
Time. Mm-hmm. I've spent a lot of time editing out your construction noises in our episodes.
Really? You've already done? That's crazy, because we just started 5 minutes ago. So
well,
you
time
must be
machines, you know?
So Hidden Figures filmmaker Ted Melfi has found his next project. He's had his eye on for a decade. The dark comedy El Camino Christmas, which is now partnered with, which is now going to be on Netflix. Melfi and director Dave Talbot have gathered together a top-line cast for the film, starring Tim Allen, Vincent D'Onofrio, Luke Grimes, one of my least favorites, Dax Shepard, Kimberly Quinn, and Jimmy O. Yang make up the ensemble. And I'll just read a quick synopsis. The story follows a young man, Grimes, who seeks out a father he has never met, and through no fault of his own, ends up barricaded in a liquor store with 5 other people on Christmas Eve. The story takes place in the fictitious town of El Camino, Nevada. So, Jordan, that's something we have to look forward to.
If there's one thing that Tim Allen does, it's Christmas films. Mm-hmm. He's got at least 4 I can think of. So.
And one of them is good. So maybe this will be the next good one. I don't know.
He's due.
I like the. I mean, I like it. It sounds good. It sounds like an Agatha Christie play or something. You got 5 people kind of holed up in one place on Christmas. Either
someone gets murdered.
Either Tim Allen's the dad or he's in the liquor store. Which do you think?
I think he's a father.
I think he's in the liquor store. But he looks. We'll post this article. He looks very cool. You commented with his kind of hip glasses and his slick looking haircut. He's aging well.
He is. Yeah, he looks good. Just another reason to get Netflix, I suppose, just for this film.
You don't have it?
Oh no, I do.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Recently, just got it after a long hiatus.
You had it and got rid of it, and now you have it back.
That's right.
Did you get it?
Yep,
you got it so you could watch 13 Reasons Why.
I got it for what was that one? I don't know. A series of unfortunate events.
You're the only person in the world that would have gotten Netflix just for that. But hey, circumstances probably beyond your control.
Most certainly.
All right. Jordan, let's go ahead and cue those grunts.
Sure, it's all safe to me. Oh, no.
Now it's time for Bits of Wisdom.
This week's bit of wisdom comes from www.notablequotes.com. I look at it this way. How much of the day are you awake? You think, I've got to get that dry cleaning. I've got to get this going, and this, and this, and this. And all of a sudden, it's dinner time. And then there's a moment of connection with your spouse or your friends. Then you read and go to bed. Wake up, and then it's the same all over. You're not awake. You're not living. You're not experiencing. We start early medicating ourselves. We start kids early, on TV, and video games, and so on. This has been your bit of wisdom.
Whoa.
Poignant.
Yeah,
I'd like to medicate myself so I don't have to hear the jackhammer and the construction going on in the not so far.
That's really a need compared to, just trying to get your kids to stop annoying you by putting them on TV.
Definitely.
So.
That's from Reader's Digest, October 2001. Do you remember reading that, October 2001?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. You guys, you seem like a Digest family.
I don't think so. We were a highlights family, We like to do all those little puzzles where you had to see what was different between the two pictures.
Oh, really? That's funny.
No, I just remember those.
I buy that as well. So, Jordan, what are we covering this week?
Episode 44 of the Home Podcast is going to cover Shooting 3 to Make Tutu.
Yes, it will.
A great title if there ever was one. This one's written by Howard Michael Gould of Mr. 3000 and Let's Did Lunch
Oh,
fame.
man, Mr. 3000. Do you want me to re-explain that plot to you, or do you
No,
remember
let's just go ahead and... If you want to listen to that, just go back to Let's Did Lunch.
Okay, all right.
This one aired March 3rd, 1993. The title reference, which I didn't actually know this, so this is kind of interesting. The title references a now abolished NBA rule which allows 3 free throw attempts to make up 2 points. For example, if one of the first 2 attempts was missed, a third attempt would be provided to make the second point. The rule was established in 1954-55 and abolished in 81-82. The title, of course, modifies the 2 to tutu as reference to Tim supposedly taking Mark to the ballet. I did not know about that arcane rule.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but yeah, I didn't know that either. So go ahead and give that the interesting vote. So maybe now it'll be like 1 out of 2 found that interesting. Except in this case, right. 2 out of 2 did. So
yeah. So we also have some plot keywords provided for this episode. There was like 10. I picked out some that I liked the best. Right. One is the ever obvious cigar smoking.
Wow, yeah, that's good. What else?
Magnet.
Okay, yeah.
And my favorite, which makes this episode sound a little bit more sinister than it is, deception.
That is good. That may or may not come up later on in terms of one of our alternate titles. Can you click on cigar smoking? No, please click on magnets, actually. I'd like to know what the magnets one.
There's also one that's child smoking. I don't know if there's
that sounds
much of a difference there.
For this time of the day.
Ooh, number 1 on the list is The Great Wall. The
Matt Damon movie?
The Matt Damon movie.
If I'd have known that was going to have a magnet in it, I might have seen it.
Ice Age Collision Course.
Where is Breaking Bad on there? Because I remember near the end of Breaking Bad, there's a big thing with a magnet.
As you can imagine, X-Men's on here quite a few times because of Magneto.
Yeah.
I don't see Breaking Bad in the top 50 that are listed here.
Well, then the list is erroneous. Not interested.
Well, we still don't really know how they rank these. We just know that they do rank them for some reason.
Like most things on IMDb, I think it's probably just user submissions. So, yeah, maybe not of the most validity there.
What's trending? And we all know the Great Wall is trending.
Yeah, it took our country by storm, and presumably a lot of other countries as well. I think everybody's really happy about it. So
yeah, for sure. Do you want to do alternative titles now?
Okay, sure. Yeah, we can do this now. I have two, and I think that you should narrow. Much
I'm
like
gonna-
last
yeah.
time, you've come up with a lot more, but let's narrow it
I
down.
just get so excited.
Yeah,
So
this
excited
is your
about this
favorite
title.
segment. All right, so you do your first one, and then I'll do one.
My first one is The Folly of King Selfish. It's kind of a King Arthur tale.
Yeah, it is. All right, my first. We do this a lot differently, you and I. My first one is Ballers and Ballerinas.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's my worst one. So get ready for
All
it.
right, here's my better one. Where there's smoke, there's a liar.
Is that like a play on where there's smoke, there's fire?
No, I just thought those words all sounded good together.
Okay,
Adam.
all right. My next one is Technically Foul, the deceitful day.
That sounds interesting. I think you got yourself another screenplay.
Technically Foul. Actually, Technically Foul would be like a screenplay about like, I don't know, like somebody leaving something in the refrigerator too
Chicken?
long. Yeah, like something. Oh, or even that. Yeah, like a.
That pheasant smells terrible.
Yeah. All right. Oh man.
All right, so let's get to the plot synopsis. We don't have Tony Topola. We've got Jeremy.
Yeah, we do.
So
Your brother.
That's my brother.
He
Chimed
doesn't
in a
listen to
short
the
and sweet
podcast,
synopsis.
but he does do the synopsis. So.
Yeah, so Tim gets Pistons tickets, but Jill says he has to take Mark to the ballet. Making everything worse, Brad and Randy test out a cigar.
Wow,
Short and
so
sweet this week.
short. You know what? Arguably too short because she's really. Or who do we say? He or she?
Jeremy.
Oh, so it could be. It could be boy or girl.
It's most certainly he this time.
Yeah, he's leaving out some magnet talk, magnetiles.
Yeah, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about magnets right away as we
definitely.
get into the episode here. So we open on Tool Time. Similar to last week, the Home Improvement logo just gently scrolls by the screen as we open.
I did catch it this time.
Good.
Yeah, it wasn't as hidden, I
No.
would say. So I wasn't able to take a lot of pride in finding it because it was pretty prominent.
They should try
so.
to hide it and like just put it in very inconspicuous places. Like instead of
Yeah.
scrolling by slowly, it should fly by or something.
You know, I'm surprised they don't do that because Home Improvement is like a pretty inconspicuous show. You know? It's pretty subtle.
That's what it says on all my DVD boxes.
Yeah.
So Al wants to talk about a light bulb that lasts 100 years. He has a guaranteed certificate, and Tim starts to poke holes in Al's dream immediately.
It's pretty rare. It's a little bit of a role reversal.
It is.
Tim is the smarter one of the two, but yeah, that is the case.
Yeah. So eventually the light bulb falls and breaks, and I guess it's not going to last for 100 years now.
Yeah, it's a 100-year light bulb. Tim says something, you know, like, how do you know the company's going to be around for 100 years? Al says he got a receipt. But it does break. Then they head over. They have to...
Magnet corner, basically.
Yeah, they have to do Binford products, so they do a magnet corner. Yeah, it's what you think is going to happen here. The magnet is very powerful. I think first it gets stuck to Al's tool belt, then like a TV screen that is kind of nearby. It escalates, and then eventually, I think, somehow it gets stuck to the camera. Tim's face is near the camera, and laughter and hilarity ensues. It's
fine.
You know, second episode in a row they started with Tool Time. I think in terms of starting the show, I like them starting with Tool Time. At the very least, you know, it's going to get some screen time.
Yeah.
Last week, I think it maybe related to the plot a little bit. I don't know, just more so than it did this week, but because there's no more magnets moving forward. Unless you count that Pistons game. It's a magnet for Tim.
I'd say.
But yeah, it's okay. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good visual gag, I guess. And I did like you said, the role reversal of Tim and Al. That was something different.
Yeah.
So we move to the next scene at home. Tim is coming home. Brad and Randy are ready for the Pistons Bulls game. This is the second time that we've had an episode featuring this.
I know, it's like the Pistons and Bulls play each other 82 times a year or something. It's like, why can't be Pistons Bucks or something?
Nah,
I guess
nobody cares.
The allure of Michael Jordan is better than the allure of who's a 90s Bucks player.
There's
Vin
a
Baker.
question.
Vin Baker.
Oh, baby, Vin Baker. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Vin Baker brings him in.
Yeah, he puts the in the seats.
So Tim brought home some snacks for the game, the cheesy poof accoutrement, and Jill comes in and he asks if she wants to watch. I guess that's all I really have for that part. And then they leave to the garage. Is there anything that happens before they leave to the garage?
Well, the cheese thing, maybe you're underselling it. He has a lot of cheese things.
You're right. That's important to emphasize right now.
He has like cheese poofs,
Cheesy poofs.
like the cheese
Sticks,
the cheese it equivalent, and then he's gonna end it with cheesecake. Yeah, Jill Jill comes in. Well, they do kind of set up at this point like that Jill feels left out. Like I don't know. It's like the boys' club thing that she brings up earlier because like she doesn't feel like she can be a part of this. All of a sudden, I don't know, like as if it's not like this all the time. All of a sudden, she's had it up to here. So yeah, Jill says, "Hey, can I talk to you out in the garage? We do still have the laundry set up. I noticed." Oh, one thing I did want to say: did you think that the like kitchen area like looked different? I wonder if they painted the walls or something. But to me, this scene immediately the angle was different, but the whole like the exterior looked different to me.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Okay, maybe DailyMotion.com was just maybe like
they had like some inverted color scheme.
Yeah, it was like discolored or something. Because also Al was blue the whole episode, so I don't know.
Yeah, he was a Smurf. No. It was one of those special episodes. You'll see it in the outtakes later on.
I don't know. I just noticed that. Yeah, so Jill's computer crashed for her work. I'm doing air quotes because I think that her work is an interesting thing this season because it's only really used every 5 or 6 episodes to have like a conflict of interest or some kind of an issue. Otherwise, we don't really hear about it. But she has to go to work, and she was going to take Mark to the ballet, and now she wants Tim to do it. Tim has a lot of ideas. He's trying to get out of it. He says, what about Karen? And Jill says Karen is busy. Well, we know that's a lie. What's Karen? What could Karen?
Where's the magician?
She lives to babysit. Yeah, I wish he'd come back. He's probably still locked in a trunk somewhere.
At a different kid's house.
Jill and Tim talk some more, and Jill kind of describes it. They're going to go see Swan Lake, which is apparently a beloved play. I meant to do some research on this, but I didn't. But she kind of describes it anyways, and it sounds like there's a girl that gets turned into a swan.
Didn't they have a movie about this recently?
The Black Swan.
I guess the Black Swan is that the same thing?
I saw the Black Swan. I guess they are performing Swan Lake, but it's really like more about that movie's more about like behind the scenes and like a person.
The real question is it
loses her mind.
Is it different than the Swan Princess that I remember from when I was a kid?
I don't. If I've ever seen that, it's been 20 years, so I can't. Well, yeah, it's definitely. Well, Black Swan is like I think the girl that she murders people in it. So yeah, it's definitely different unless there's murder. Unless there's murder in the movie you're talking about.
Maybe Mark would like it better if it was Black Swan.
The Black Cauldron's pretty dark, if I recall, so it's not that Disney won't tackle some...
We're really just spinning out of control right now.
Jill describes Swan Lake, and basically she's telling a story to try to convince Tim to go. There's a callback to Fordzilla, because Jill
took
the boys to the Monster Truck Rally, and I was like, yeah, I remember that. The scene ends with Jill saying that if Tim takes Mark, that she will have sex with him, and I think that is what lures him ultimately.
Yeah, I wrote that she basically pays him with sex.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Luckily they're married, so.
I mean you're married. Is this what it's like for you?
No comment.
Okay.
I was going to ask you if you've ever had a dastardly computer crash where you lost important things.
I was going to ask you if you've ever had to take a child to ballet in exchange for... No. Have I ever had a computer crash dastardly?
And ruin one of your term papers or something?
No, but my, students use that as an excuse fairly often, which, I don't buy in a world where, everything is kind of, Google Docs backs everything up immediately, or, things are just kind of automatically saved, but... Get a lot of computer crashes, which is always interesting to me. But I don't have any real examples of that. What about you?
I remember in high school, senior year, when we did our big research paper project. Had to be, I don't remember how long it had to be, but for a high schooler, it seemed long.
Probably 3 pages.
I was going to say it was probably 4 or 5 pages. Yeah. But I did a very substantial big paper on real big on energy, something about alternative energy, just comparing all these different types of energy. I got all the way done with it, and then it somehow was erased from my flash drive, so I had to start all over, and it was a nightmare. Luckily my teacher was quite generous and allowed me just to work in the computer lab while they were doing other things, so that was helpful, but it was quite annoying to have to retype everything. And once you type it once, it never really sounds the same the second time you try it again. So that was disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of, it hurts me to this day.
Yeah,
to this day, I will not type any paper about solar energy.
To this day, you still deny the benefits of solar energy.
Yeah.
You just think it's like kind of useless.
It ruined my
global
flash
warming
drive.
Global warming too. Right? Next scene, Brandy and Rad. How many times have we done that? Brad and Randy. Jill's out talking to them. She says like, "Can you guys handle being alone?" They should be able to. They're like 12 and 11. They ought to be able to do it alone. But they're gonna go because Jill has to work, and Tim and Mark are going to Swan Lake, and the boys are prominently eating something called Snacklin' Cheddar.
Is that part of the stuff that Tim brought home?
I would assume so, but yeah, just the Snacklin'. I just couldn't get past it. It's very, very much facing the camera. I gotta assume it's not real.
Not a product placement?
I mean, Snacklin'? I guess, like, I don't know.
Maybe it's like a Michigan brand.
Didn't seem like a real name. I'll look it up later once you start talking. Mark and Tim come down. They're both wearing suits. They're dressed up. They make kind of a grand entrance, and that's essentially it for this scene. It's just a quick scene.
You call it?
Next
you
scene
said
with
it
the
was
fence.
Was it Snacklin' Cheddars?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be a real thing.
Can we get a hold of some? You think they'll send us some?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like it used to be a Keebler company type of thing, and was very popular in the late 80s, and I suppose
Keebler elves, yeah.
But I haven't
Keebler
seen
elves.
anything recently, so anyway.
Next scene, we're at the fence, and Wilson is gonna keep close watch on the boys,
Except for not really.
Except for not really, because he misses something seemingly very obvious. Conveniently, he doesn't see something that I thought he was going to see.
Since he's always outside.
Yeah, I know. But Wilson has 2 tickets to the Bulls-Pistons game, and guess what, Jordan? They're floor seats.
And he's not interested in going for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
I can't.
Like he just. I mean, why would he care about basketball?
Why would he call in this radio contest?
Because he's he's trying to show. He always is just trying to, show everyone how intelligent he is. That's why he talks to Tim every day. That's why he calls in radio contests.
Well, I feel like Tim is low-hanging fruit.
I think radio disc jockeys are low-hanging fruit.
That's a good point.
I think, Wilson, deep down, he's very insecure, so he feels a need to just let everyone know how intelligent he is. And I hope the fake Wilson tweets at us about this and says something completely unrelated to the previous tweet, because that seems to be what continues to happen.
That's kind of the dynamic we've got going.
It's really beneficial for both sides. We'll say something and then he'll say something completely unrelated back. Fantastic. He won a radio contest. He was the 15th caller. I don't remember what the question was. I didn't write it down, but it's something very obscure.
It's not very obscure. It's like the 3 laws that govern like the motion of the planets and who.
Yes, yes. Everyone is familiar with that, Jordan.
And,
if we were to poll 10 people in the street, I think almost all of them would.
And
get
I
it right.
suppose that's Tim's point here too. He says 14 other people knew that.
Yeah. So Tim is, he's conflicted. He wants to go. It's at the same time as the ballet, I guess we should have said. But Tim takes the tickets and says that he'll find someone.
Because Wilson's going to throw him out otherwise.
You got to assume he's going to throw them away. Like, you have to assume Tim never really planned on finding someone else. Because immediately Mark comes out and he says, and he just starts trying to sell Mark on going to the game. Mark doesn't really want to go.
He thinks it's cool, but not cooler than Swans.
Yeah, he's like, Mark wants to see the Swans. And then Tim says that they can do both. Tim says something about how, if you stay at a play too long, they'll bring in the second string dancers, and it's just, not worth seeing, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Mark, he tries to sell Mark a couple different ways. He says, all the hot dogs and soda you could drink.
Whoa.
Mark's like, no,
Not interested.
I'll buy you a foam finger. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Dad.
And that will be Tim's demise.
Why would he prefer a foam finger over all the hot dogs and soda you could drink? That sounds just fantastic. Like an 8-year-old boy or however old he is, all the pop and hot dogs, it doesn't get any better than that.
I think it's just the law of supply and demand. You can get hot dogs and you can get hot dogs at a ballet during intermission, but but you can't get foam fingers everywhere.
Jordan, this is a house where junk food is so scarce that they hide it in the vents. You're trying to tell me this kid can get all the hot dogs and pop he wants?
Well, I think that's probably not a
it.
Tim thing. That's more of a Jill thing.
That's true. But yeah, so Mark, the foam finger is enough to convince Mark to go.
I was gonna say before this, the boys are interacting a little bit with Mark, and they're not nearly as mean this episode to him.
Maybe they had a stern talking to.
I hope so.
Or Mark's karate is really going well, so they're afraid he's going to be.
I don't think he started his next class yet.
Sorry, I meant karate.
Karate. At home later, we're spending a lot of time at home early on. Brad has found a secret stash of cookies, and they're alone at this point. So yeah, he.
Where are the cookies though? Describe where the cookies are.
Yeah, so he has to go above the built-in shelf, and there's a vent there. And he has to get into the vent, and then all of a sudden there's those cookies. Thank goodness.
That's disgusting.
Thank goodness they're in a bag, because that would be.
That's still gross. It would be. It's just like dust. Like vents are just dusty, dirty kind of tunnels of
filth,
grime, and disgust. Just disgust in general. They just disgust me. Yeah, that seemed. What? How does that? Like, what is the logic in that? Why would she not just keep them in her car or keep them in her room? Why is she hiding them up there? So that she has to like. Are her kids so like?
I don't think they're fat.
Are they cookie monsters? Like, do they want cookies so bad that she has to put them up? I mean, she couldn't reach that.
No, I mean, last time she hid her cookies, they were just like above the oven, I believe.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, at this point, she might as well like have left a map somewhere, and they had to like go somewhere across the city and dig 5 feet underground to get these cookies. I mean, it's just
what she should do? She should just give them to Wilson.
She should give him but then she has to go over and say, "Hey, Wilson, can I have those cookies?" And then, like, that's just kind of a weird dynamic for two adults to have.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like something they could pull off. Wilson needs some company sometimes, anyways. So
yeah, you think Wilson, like, is he going on dates or anything?
Well, he missed a perfect opportunity to take someone on a date.
How so? Oh, the Pistons.
Yeah. What's happening over there? Is there somebody backing out?
Hey man, I told you there was going to be a lot of noise.
I'm just worried. I didn't know if it was a fire alarm or a construction truck. So,
not a fire alarm.
Yeah, I mean that would have been a good opportunity to take someone on a date, but he had zero interest. So I don't know. I think no. I don't think he's interested in that. He's more interested in beating rugs.
He should. Sounds kind of raunchy. Wilson, rather than okay. Pistons, Bulls, floor seats, Michael Jordan playing whatever year this is, 1993. You could fetch something for those. I mean, Wilson seems like he is able to do okay despite not working, but he could have gotten some cash for those. So I don't know, that is another option.
I don't care who you are. You're taking those tickets and you're going.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose so. All right, continue on with this scene.
Yeah, so Brad gets the cookies, comes down. He says, "Turn on the game." They want to watch the Pistons Bulls game. And before we talk too much about the rest of the scene, I thought we would play a clip and just see how it goes.
Randy, check it out. I found Mom's stash of cookies. Turn on the game.
I will. After I smoke my cigar.
Cool. Where'd you get that?
Dad's sock drawer, he's got a whole box.
That's why his socks smell so bad.
Now I think that's why the cigar smells so bad.
Let's smoke it. How do you light it?
I think you're supposed to bite off the end first. We're not supposed to eat it.
Just light the cigar.
Not in here, it smells. Outside.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Cigars and cookies. We're men.
So Brad found the cookies. Randy found the cigar in the sock drawer. Ooh. And Brad says, "Hey, turn on the game." And Randy says, "I will after I smoke this cigar," which is actually a pretty good impression. So they're going to smoke this cigar. Jordan, you've never smoked a cigar. I have in my life, so that's not going to make for a real interesting back and forth. But this did remind me of kind of like a PSA. Like it had like a very like PSA feel. There's a scene in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, what do we? Sometimes
wonder if you need a new partner.
A different co-host, maybe we would just have more to talk about.
I'll just do the editing.
Yeah, that would be fun. So there's in Harold and Kumar, there's like a PSA where like these two like young kids they smoke marijuana for the first time, and the kid's like, I'm so high, nothing could even hurt me. And he puts a gun in his mouth and, like, blows his brains out, kind of. And it kind of just had a feel like that, where it's just, like, very absurd, kind of heightening. Like, it just, maybe if I smoke this cigar. It was very much the same feel. If you haven't seen it, it's not really going to make sense, but hopefully somebody out there
You
has.
really painted a picture there. I will say the only thing that is missing is they don't really have the cheesy music when they get caught and stuff.
You're right, but everything else is there, you know?
It's like a Dare Dare
It is, it is,
video.
yeah, and it is like a Dare kind of, it just has that PSA kind of, like, cheesy kind of choreographed feel to it. But, they're gonna smoke the cigar. It smells like socks, because it's in the sock drawer, I guess. Brad is supposed to bite it, but he bites off, like, far too large of a
He starts
chunk.
chewing it.
And he starts, like, chewing on it. So,
Gross.
But they're gonna go outside and smoke it, because they do have
Some sense.
The common sense to go outside. But they go outside and smoke it, like, right by Wilson, which one would think, like we said earlier, that they're setting up the fact that Wilson will see them. But they're not going to do that. And then at the end, Randy says that, they have cigars and they have cookies, and that essentially makes them men.
That's right. That's the only two things you need.
Next scene, it's dark outside. Oh, they've smoked the cigars, and it's gotten dark outside, so some time has passed. And I thought that they would be sick. I kind of thought we were heading that way, because, if you're young and you smoke, like, a cigar that big and you are inhaling it, you would get sick. But
they're all right. They did it pretty well.
They just have a bad taste in their mouth.
And they smell pretty bad.
The residue's gone and they smell bad. They're using, like, what are they using? Like pine, like air freshener.
Yeah, they're like
just
they're spraying it all on their face and stuff.
Yeah, they're spraying it. So their dad comes home, and he comes out and confronts them, and he smells the air freshener right away.
But he also congratulates them that the house is in one piece. So he doesn't really suspect anything quite yet.
No, I don't think they ever really do until the very end. And Brad kind of covers well here, because Tim says, it smells bad out here. He says, Jennifer gave me a new cologne. So Jennifer is still around.
We might hear about her. We will not see her.
We will not see her again. Gone but not forgotten. But Tim... Where are we at here?
The boys asked to go to Billy's.
They run off and play.
They want to get out of... Yeah, they go to Billy's. They try to get out of there. Randy is lingering a little bit. I don't know if this is supposed to be like he's feeling guilty or he's like feeling the effects of a cigar, which wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. But
there's no.
He's a little lightheaded,
probably.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's so lightheaded that he's forced to tell his dad that he loves him. But yeah, he acts a little bit strange, and then they kind of had to go play with Billy and presumably brag about their cigar smoking exploits.
Yeah, just like every young boy does.
Yes. Next scene? Or, I guess, do we continue
Same
on?
scene, but Tim goes inside. Mark has his foam finger on that we talked about. He loved the game. He loved it more than the ballet. Apparently, Tim got into it with a ref, and he tripped him during the game.
Yeah, you'd get kicked out.
For sure. He might not be welcome back in the Palace of Auburn Hills. I don't know if it would have been the Palace at that time or not. I forget what year it opened.
I think it would have been, I think it would have just been the Palace. I think the Palace is like 92, so.
Yeah, and...
rest in peace.
Yep. So Tim says he cannot tell his mom about this, and Mark does not like this situation because he's not a good liar. And Tim says, we're just going to delay the truth. So he's bending the truth here. And Jill comes home right then. We see that Mark has some mustard on his shirt. And Tim tries to cover here. Tim tries to cover in a couple different ways. He's not going to...
It's a funny scene,
yeah,
I think.
He's not going to let Mark answer. He's going to try to answer all the questions for him. Like she asked, how do you like to play? What was your favorite part? And all that kind of stuff. He says that Mark got some mustard from intermission. Apparently they serve hot dogs now. And he gets Mark to go change.
Well, it's kids' day. They serve hot dogs. They have bratwurst. They have nachos with the melted cheese on top. And swan cookies.
They also have some Twinkies and some other goods for him. So it's really quite the day at the I almost said the opera. It might as well be.
It's quite the day at the office too.
So Mark goes upstairs before he spills anything, which is the first maybe that's ever happened. I think, in the whole series.
Yeah, he he had the wherewithal to kind of sneak off, which, Mark, it was an interesting move for Mark, because I expected him immediately to ruin it, but instead Tim kind of ruins it, or, how did Tim think this was going to go? Like, what was his plan?
I think he thought they were never going to have to broach the subject. to be honest.
He just thought she was gonna. He thought Mark was never gonna tattle. Like Mark is, he tattles every week.
Yeah, he was perhaps hoping it would be months down the line, maybe, and she would not care as much at that point. I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not gonna. Tim doesn't have a lot of good plans a lot of the time.
Yeah, this
isn't in the upper echelon.
Yeah, he just kind of came home, and I mean, I guess he had the tickets, so he went, and that was that. But yeah, Jill eventually she's suspicious, with the way Tim's acting, and she sees the program. He says, "Yeah, I went. Here's the program," and she says, "What did you think of it?" And then Tim says he thought that it was like, basically Tim has a quote, and it's the same quote as what the writer had on the cover of the program. One of the greatest operas of all time. Do you have the quote or
no? I don't have it.
Good note taking by us. And she's suspicious, and then she finds the foam finger, which was not hidden at all, presumably just kind of right in one of the drawers or in the kitchen. And then
you didn't see what he tried to do with it? Oh, he tried to stuff it in that little bread thing that they have, and he couldn't fit the long part of the finger in there, so it was sticking out, and he covered it with like a dish towel.
Oh, well, that's...
You're asking for it.
That's not going to cut it.
No, it doesn't cut it. So Tim comes clean. Jill is not happy. She tried to expose them to culture. I suppose this is when she talks about the boys' club, right? She goes on saying that it feels
she's mad. She's like, well, Jill's mad because Tim taught Mark that basketball is cool and ballet is stupid, essentially. Her words. Her words and a lot of people's words, presumably.
I have no comment there. I've never been to a ballet. Have you ever been to a ballet?
I guess not.
No. So I guess we're ignorant.
Yeah, prejudice.
So next scene, outside, Wilson is...
we should say, like, she's very mad and she, like, storms off.
Yes, she does.
Like, she's yelling in a way that Jill yells fairly often.
Her voice must be getting tired.
Yeah, I'd say. Go ahead with the next
So
scene.
outside, Wilson's beating a rug, and Tim...
Beating a rug.
Tim comes out, and we're going to play a clip.
Wilson, what are you doing?
Oh, just doing a little spring cleaning, Tim. Beating the dust out of my rug.
I thought you had your own hair.
Oh, that's a good one, neighbor. By the way, did you find anybody to take those basketball tickets off your hands?
As a matter of fact, I took Mark to the game, and I got to thank you for the best seats I've ever had at a basketball game.
Really? I thought you were going to the ballet.
Well, try to do both.
Well, very good. Basketball and ballet in the same day. You're raising your boys to be Renaissance men.
Actually, I'm not interested in Renaissance men. I think ballet's stupid.
Really? Well, why do you think it's stupid?
It's ballet.
Uh-huh. What is it that you don't enjoy about it?
It's ballet.
Well, Tim, I think we've established that. How much ballet have you actually seen?
Well, counting the 30 minutes I saw today, about 36 minutes lifetime total.
Well, then I would have to say that your opinion is based on ignorance.
You just call me ignorant?
Well, when it comes to ballet, I guess I did. And ignorance is a breeding ground for prejudice.
Oh. You ask anybody. I'm not a prejudiced guy.
Not against people. Perhaps against ideas, though. See, Tim, anytime a man forms an opinion that's not based on facts, then he's a fool.
Oh, great. Now I'm a ignorant, prejudiced fool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Wilson is probing Tim a little bit here because Tim says that ballet is stupid, and Wilson wants to know where this is coming from to see if it's actually founded on something or if it's just, a belief based on hearsay, I suppose.
Wilson's putting Tim on blast.
He is,
essentially,
but
calling him out for his BS.
In a nice way, but Tim doesn't quite like it. Tim probes and figures out that his opinion is based on ignorance. He's never been to the ballet before today. He's never really seen the whole thing, and he doesn't really understand it. So
he has no justification for not liking it. It's an opinion based on ignorance, and ignorance is a breeding ground for prejudice.
And Tim thinks this, when he says this, that he's saying that Tim is ignorant in all respects.
prejudice against people.
Yeah.
Tim thinks he's not. I'm not prejudiced against people, and Wilson says, no, of course not. But you're prejudiced against ideas.
Yes.
It's good.
I think
probably one of the better ones of late. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's applicable probably to most people's lives, and I think that Tim's reaction of defense here, like he immediately gets defensive at the word ignorant, is true to really. I think if it's one of those words that if like someone calls you ignorant, you just immediately you just are defensive.
You think they're calling you? You think they're calling you like stupid or saying like you're just not an intelligent person, but you can be ignorant about like just specific things or certain ideas.
Yeah, and I was wondering if you had anything like this, where at first you were ignorant about something or didn't know.
At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. Let me think.
I have a couple.
This is quite a question to ask without any preparation.
Here, I can go
ahead
first.
With yours and I'll try to think.
I have a couple of things that I just thought either wouldn't be interesting at all, and they kind of turned into passions for me.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
You weren't ready for this, huh? Well, I was thinking the first one's old movies. I thought they would be boring, the black and white stuff. I actually enjoy them a lot more than new movies. I think they're better. Yeah, well, exactly.
Come on. You sound like a BuzzFeed article.
No, I do though. I think they don't do as much action stuff, so I enjoy a lot of the storytelling that's in the older movies. And also, I was thinking about reading in Harry Potter to begin with, because for some reason, I hated all that. Like reading in general, I was just not into at all until probably like freshman year of college, and I ended up loving all that kind of stuff. And now like reading something I do daily. So I don't know. Those were just two things that I thought about in regards to this scene.
I don't really have anything that
you've never been ignorant.
Solid. I'm not saying that. There's nothing. No prime examples. I've always liked reading, and I've always had a fondness for older movies, so I can't use those. Let's say I didn't used to.
I know one. For you.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I think playing cards.
That is a good one, Jordan. I'm still not. I would like. Yeah, that is good. I always assumed that I would not like playing cards.
I tried to get you to play euchre for years.
Yeah, and I. What did I say?
He said, "Nah, I don't really like cards."
Yeah, and then
you didn't really have a good excuse for it. You just didn't want to do it for some reason.
I just didn't want to do it.
Perhaps you were turned off by the poker craze that happened when we were.
Yeah, I definitely was. I definitely was kind of annoyed by that. Also, I think that did kind of turn me off. I would say I think that's definitely true, and I have gotten more into playing cards lately. I haven't played a lot of cards at this point, but I'm interested in playing more. I just don't necessarily have the opportunity.
You've been shuffling some decks.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. I think also at that age, I felt like I don't want to be the guy at this table that doesn't know what he's doing. I think learning cards or something is always kind of frustrating because you're generally in a position where everyone knows quite a bit. If you're getting invited to a card game and you don't know how to play, you know so much less than the other people that it's just kind of a frustrating endeavor, especially for a young man. I think that was probably my justification. I would also say, I think that I grew up mostly thinking that I thought it was cool to kind of dump on country music a lot, and I don't love country music now. But Kirsten likes it a lot, my girlfriend, and we listen to it in the car a lot, and I make fun of it almost every time it's on. But I like some of the songs. I'm enjoying some of the tunes. A lot of them are cheesy and terrible, but I think I liked it without any justification when I was younger, and just thought it all went under kind of just an umbrella of whiskey, horses, and breakups. And I don't know, some of the songs are alright, so there's a couple examples.
Yeah, I mean, that's just 50% of it. So.
Yeah, it's just half. Yeah, sure.
So that's good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff right there. So later at home, Jill brings... what did I write here? This doesn't even make sense. I said...
this is where Jill says that it feels like a boys' club. So the fight kind of continues. It's the next day, and they're just kind of... They're hitting on the same point. So she is mad at Tim. Tim doesn't really help his cause here. He says, I just want to remind you that floor tickets are really hard to come by. It's okay, you did that yesterday. That's enough. Jill wants Tim to make it okay for the boys to like things other than sports. He doesn't have to like what she likes, but the boys should have the opportunity because Brad only likes what Tim likes. Randy pretty much only likes what Tim likes. And Mark, she saw an opportunity. And
he's a blank slate.
Yeah, Tim kind of took that away from her. And this is where Tim gives kind of a bogus line where he says that he likes parts the ballet. Well, this is the first time we've heard that. I mean, since when? Since he had to apologize? I mean...
Yeah, which part of the 30 minutes did you enjoy of the ballet?
I mean, he's only seen 36 minutes of ballet total, and he saw 30 minutes yesterday. So, and this reminded me of an episode we saw earlier, but essentially Tim has created a ballet of his own. And this is like the episode where he makes the... do you know what I'm talking about? Where he films, like, photos of them in the garage.
Yes.
And he puts it behind music. It was a lot like that. I don't remember what episode that was.
Maybe not quite as sentimental.
This wasn't quite
I think it was her birthday.
Yeah, it was her birthday, so maybe it was just called, like, Jill's birthday or something.
I think it was
definitely
Jill's
called,
birthday.
like, it was definitely, like, a pun, the title, for sure.
It was Jill's birthday, that's all
it was just called Jill's birthday?
Yeah.
Well, we could rename that one pretty well as well. So, yeah, he's spliced together, somehow Tim took a video editing class online, and he spliced together, like, sports and the opera, or rather sports and ballet. So it's like basketball and opera, football and opera, like racing.
Ballet. You keep saying opera.
I do keep saying opera.
There is no opera in this.
There's no opera. To me, they feel a part or of a similar piece. Mm-hmm. But and he keeps saying.
He's written like a story to it.
And the peasants rejoice.
Yeah. Every time he shows the ballet, the peasants rejoice. He's kind of cutting the same thing. And he has the story about some sort of prince, and then this earl escapes, and then the prince defeats him or something.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't really listening to any of that. But the footage appeared to be like stock footage. It wasn't of actual teams, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
It looked pretty generic, but you know what? Jill's convinced. She's happy again. That's all it took. You know,
the more power ballet hour is what he calls it.
The more power ballet hour. Yeah, it's funny the things that win Jill back week after week. You know, why bother getting mad if you're just going to let a lazily spliced together video win you over? But you know what? That works.
You know, he put in a lot of effort. He wrote a story there. He, as you said, he had to take a video editing class probably to get that taken care of.
Definitely, it took a lot of time because he got home late last night and he's doing it the first thing the next day. So yeah, he logged a lot of hours on this.
Well, there's wormholes in Home Improvement. I think we all know that.
What is a wormhole?
It's quantum physics term.
Sure, yeah. I don't follow that.
Time is all relative.
Time is a flat circle. Finals, not the final scene, but pretty much the final scene of the episode. My favorite scene. I liked this. So presumably later on that day, Jill found the cigar that the boys smoked. It's like, kids, you got to get rid of that. You got to
take it to Billy's.
You got to take that You got to take that anywhere else. Like, take it, put it in your pocket, take it to a trash can at the park, take it to Billy's, throw it out in the street, throw it in someone's yard, but you don't leave that there. I mean, I know they're just young boys, but you got to believe that that's going to happen.
Old enough to smoke a cigar, old enough to know how to dispose of it.
I would say so, yeah. So Jill says, like, what are we going to do? Are we going to confront them?
I thought she would be, like, running in there stomping.
Neither one of them, they kind of play it off like it's like a joke or something, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But Tim says, follow my lead. And this is pretty clever.
And we do follow his lead.
Yeah, so they walk in and they like start to put their coats on. They say, we got to take Wilson to the ER. He smoked one of those cigars from my sock drawer. And they go through like all of these conditions. You know, like he's got hair growing out of his knuckles. The tobacco was infected. He's got rashes. He's itching. So we have to take him to the ER. Go ahead and watch your brother. And they're like they're acting it out really well. And they're just very cut and dry. They're putting on their coats and they close the door. And then Brad and Randy are like, all of a sudden, I mean, I don't feel so good either. And they're convinced, itchy. Yeah, I'm itchy. And they're convinced, like, do you think maybe we should go to the ER too? They open the door. Parents are standing there facing it. And they say, busted. And I thought that was good. So, that's not... There's a blooper with Tool Time with a gadget that we don't even see in the episode, right? It's like
it's from Gadget Corner, which is kind of how they open on the show.
Yeah.
But we don't see that part beforehand, and they're talking about a multi-knife, basically.
Yeah, then we roll credits, fade to black, shoot 3 to make Tutu. Alternate title, Technical Foul, The Deceitful Day.
Or Where There's Smoke, There's a Liar.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Jordan, highs and lows?
I actually didn't mind this episode. I thought it was pretty good. A good one for Howard Michael Gould, Mr. 3000 fame. Yeah, I don't know. The couple of things that bothered me was like Wilson would obviously see these kids shooting based on how they set Wilson up as a man who never leaves his side yard. But I think like you said, that the clever way that they handle the situation of catching the boys smoking the cigar, I presume that they actually discipline them more after they are caught. I don't know. I guess other than that, it's a pretty generic episode as far as, Tim does something stupid, gets caught for it, apologizes.
Yeah, what are your highs, though? I didn't really hear you saying. You said you thought it was pretty good, but what did you...
I thought it was okay. I just, I liked the increased tool time scenes that we have. I liked, like I said, I liked that scene at the end. I thought that was funny. I liked Wilson's advice as well. I thought that was pretty practical and applicable to this one, so...
Okay. Yeah. I like this one, yeah. I think I liked it more than you did. I felt like I got quite a few good chuckles out of this. I definitely liked the ending. I liked the final scene where they kind of tricked the boys. I thought that was well done. And I liked the scene where Tim and Mark come home and kind of caught in a lie with the mustard and the program. I just thought that was... I laughed quite a bit throughout both those scenes. And yeah, the Wilson fence segment was good. The advice was appropriate, and it wasn't especially heavy-handed or grounded in, like a bunch of like Galileo and historical names that we hear week after week. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. The conclusion with the video is a little bit just, I don't know, maybe a little bit hammy to me, but I like this a little bit different in terms of just like not different in terms of like the conflict and structure, but just like I like the dynamic of the Pistons Bulls versus the ballet, and the boys smoking the cigar was stupid but also kind of entertaining. So yeah, I like this one. I thought it was funny. I laughed.
Yeah, all the boys had something to do in this one too, which is to get everyone involved in an episode. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes Mark's in one scene and then gone or something like that. So everybody had something to do.
Al has really nothing to do. Yeah, Al just doesn't really have anything to do this season. It's weird. They bumped him up to like series regulars in the credits, but I feel like he's doing the same, if not less, than the first season. So
well, perhaps. Oh, this episode apparently was so bad I started yawning.
Yeah. Maybe we'll edit that out. But we'll see.
Perhaps we'll have some more more for him to do later on.
Definitely.
There's only a couple episodes left in the season, right?
Every time I look, it seems like there's more. So hard
they
to say.
Just keep adding them on.
Yeah, hard to say. So Jordan, what do you want to do next?
What do I want to do next? I suppose we can talk about social media.
Let's talk about social media.
All right. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to go to our website, thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/homeandpodcast. At Twitter, our handle is @homeandpodcast. And if you'd like to donate to us, we do have the Jungle to Jungle episode fully edited, and we'll be releasing that soon. So if you want to get your hands on that raw, unfettered, slightly cut episode, feel free to go to our Patreon or our website and support us there. And other than that, I think we're ready for some of your polls and information there.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about that. And I just want to say, just because Gene Siskel said it was the worst film of 1997 doesn't mean that we thought so. So yeah, you're going to want to hear that. We have some hot takes. It's every bit as Jordan. I put Jordan in the hottest seat in podcasting, and I think he handled it well. So yeah, you're gonna want to get your hands on that. It's coming very soon. So only one poll this week, 13 votes, and it's a simple question: do you karate? So are you interested in karate? 15% yes, 85% no. So we have predominantly a karate-free cast of listeners. So.
I also have some really great news for all of our fans. We've solicited feedback for a while now, and we finally got a new review. So with Adam's promise, he's going to sing a specialized, personalized song to that person. So let me pull up the review so I can read it, and then we can get on to the singing show.
Yeah, we can.
All right, this review is by GU42. that is titled Binford Approved and it has 5 stars. And it is, oh. 1 out of 1 found this review helpful too. So I like that someone put, yes, this was a helpful review.
Yeah, I think it was me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so as promised, GU42, here is your song, with little preparation, but significant amount of
much love.
Much love. GU42, I want to thank you for your podcast review. You're a heck of a guy or gal. Thank you for your podcast review. Have a great day, GU42.
It started out very promising and then went, I would say south, but no doubt
Everybody's a critic. We'll let you sing the next one.
I wouldn't put myself in that kind of an island like you did, but I'm sure GU42 appreciates it, and we appreciate you guys leaving reviews. So if you haven't yet, please do so. Go on to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. If you don't think we're worth 5 stars, well then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sing for someone that gives us anything less than a 5-star review. So
and you might not sing if they give you a review anyway.
No, I'll definitely keep singing despite your negative feedback.
You're just a bird looking to spread its wings,
or
a swan.
So Jordan, I guess it's my turn to come up with the question.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Jordan. So this week, Brad and Randy they smoke cigars and they eat cookies. We're not going to talk about cigars, but we are going to talk about cookies briefly. Obviously, Jordan, we have it on air that you try to eat healthy.
Do I?
We both do.
I don't think I do that well with it.
You've mentioned ad nauseum about your willingness and your desire to eat healthy. But having said that, what are some of your favorite kind of cookies, or what kind of cookies do you like? It can be, think of it in terms of those that are baked, or even those that are store bought. But what cookies do you prefer?
Wow, great question.
Yeah. Thanks.
Perhaps my favorite cookie is my mother's sugar cookies that she makes in various different shapes according to the season or the holiday. Those are always delicious. I make a pretty mean gluten-free chocolate chip cookie now that my wife has to eat gluten-free due to an allergy. So that's took some tinkering, but I do like that, and I also like oatmeal raisin. So those are my 3 favorite, I would say.
Cool.
Tell me about your cookie experience.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So growing up, I really liked no-bake cookies, but less so as I get older. I like a sugar cookie with a little bit of frosting on it.
Absolutely.
Those are kind of where it's at for me. Peanut butter blossom cookies are very good. I enjoyed those. I used to like gingerbread cookies quite a bit. But yeah, chocolate chip right out of the oven when it's gooey. Oh baby, I mean that is just good stuff. Oatmeal raisin. I like lots of different types of cookies. I don't eat them very often right now, but I would say yeah, give me a sugar cookie with a little bit of frosting on it, and I am happy as a clam.
What? That's just great. I'm so glad to know about that. I might send you some cookies for Christmas.
Yeah, well, you did. I sent you some coasters, not too long ago, and I'm yet to get any kind of a gift in return. So I'm not.
I'm biding my time.
You don't give gifts to receive gifts back, but at a certain point, you do want to return that favor. So Jordan,
I was gonna say, one time I was working with my dad at a customer's house, and she had made like these molasses cookies and made all of us try one.
And they're gross.
And I didn't really like them. I felt bad though, so I was like, oh yeah, they're good. So she gave me like a bag full of like 25 of those
That's
cookies.
a nightmare. Anytime anyone I hate it, so there's nothing worse than being in the position where someone wants you to try something right then and there and you have to give like an immediate reaction. You know, like
I started rubbing my tummy.
Yeah, it's just like what are you? These are really good.
I felt bad. It was really sweet of her to like make all these cookies for us, but I don't know. If you like molasses cookies, let us know because I haven't met anyone yet that does.
And your dad accepted payment in cookies for that job,
yeah,
right?
He didn't take any money for the job, just a bunch of cookies.
he took a flat screen TV and a bunch of cookies. All right. So next week on Hoenn Podcast, we're covering Much Ado About Nana. So
we get to meet Nana.
That is going to be good. And Nana, I think I remember Nana. Let me see if it's who I think
I
it
definitely
is.
remember Nana.
Isn't that the woman that George Feeney marries on Boy Meets World?
I think so.
She's in Mrs. Doubtfire, so she's got to be fire. Yeah. So we'll look forward to that. Wait, is she?
She's in The Parent Trap as well.
She's not in Boy Meets World, so I am wrong about that. Different Nana. Much Ado About Nana is right.
Nana. We'll get to Nana next episode.
Yeah,
this is too early for Nana.
Nana, yeah, we can't talk anymore about Nana. So, Jordan, I want to
she's
thank
in
you for joining me.
Gremlins. Sorry.
She's in Gremlins?
Yes.
Well, I think everybody. If she's in Gremlins 2, we'll talk. You know, I think that's the superior of the Gremlins films. Jordan, thank you for joining me this week, and thank you everyone for listening. And I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.